Today, waiting lists for all kinds of NHS treatments have been getting longer. But for trans people, the delay for a first appointment at a gender identity clinic has doubled since 2018. More than 7 million people are currently on the NHS England list for elective care, that is, care planned in advance. Of those, 31,000 are waiting for gender services. The target wait time for a first appointment is 18 weeks, but the BBC has found that the average wait to access adult gender identity clinics in England is now 2 to 5 years. It's causing stress and anxiety, even despair for patients with gender dysmorphia, those who experience a mismatch between their biological sex and their gender identity. Maria Zaccaro has been finding out in this exclusive report.
Dee, who's now 50, says she's known for years that she wanted to transition from a male to a female. This could involve a series of legal, social and physical changes.
It took me a long time to make that decision. So 2 children, 2 failed marriages later, I decided that that's what I wanted to do. What I didn't realise was the amount of time it was going to take to actually make that transition.
18 weeks is the target waiting time to begin treatment, which includes hormone therapy and surgery. But our investigations found some transgender people across the south have been waiting between 3 to 5 years for a first appointment. Dee, a head gardener, has been on a waiting list for 5 years and is yet to see a doctor.
Right at the beginning, you get this euphoric feeling where you've got your referral and it goes sent off, and then you're way up to start with, and then you slowly come down because nobody's been in touch with you. Yeah, you're just in this abyss waiting for somebody to phone you or somebody to send you a letter, and that's a real feeling of just sinking into nothing.
Andrea from Newbury says she found the waiting times frightening.
I don't think at my age that I could stand waiting for that much longer to actually get out there in the world and be Andrea, be the real me.
She's now 62 and says she hadn't felt her true self for years.
You feel totally trapped within something that's not you. You feel like you're sort of within, I don't know, like a prison cell almost, because you're not able to be the person that you know that you are.
She considers herself lucky, as last year she was able to pay £15,000 to undergo surgery at a private clinic in Spain.
The scales came away and I sort of just felt so completely at peace with myself. At peace with myself. I was who I was always supposed to be.
Support charities say more training for GPs and more funding are needed, and they also recognise that the entire NHS is under pressure.
Why should transgender health services also be prioritised?
Well, it's not competition. The NHS has a really difficult job. There are so many responsibilities that they have. We don't want special treatment. We just want to be treated equally along with everyone else.
Chrissy from Oxford is 65 and says given her age and the current waiting times, she would probably be too old to undergo surgery. She's given up on even joining a list.
If I was to put my name on the waiting list, it might tempt me to dream. But I know that is a hope that's never going to be realised whilst the NHS trans healthcare remains in the state that it's in now.
She says her situation has caused anxiety and suicidal thoughts.
I cannot afford to dwell upon not being able to transition. Yes, I am strong and I am resilient, supposedly, but I go through such crushing despair.
NHS England says it's been increasing investment and opening new clinics. It added, the rollout of these new clinics is already helping to tackle long waiting times, which had increased due to a shortage of specialist clinical staff to meet the rapidly rising demand. Meanwhile, those still waiting remain hopeful.
And we've just heard that Dee has finally got an appointment later this month. Our thanks to everyone who spoke to Maria. And if you've been affected by that report, there is help and advice on the BBC Action Line website.